Welcome to Punk Rock Radar. Today we have something special for you. John and I are going to take our top 10 albums and rank them so you can see if we have shitty taste of music or if our taste of music rocks.
All right, Matt. Well, first of all, screw you for making us do this list, especially so early and with such little notice. This has been like one of the most stressful things I've ever had to do. And
did you say more stressful than Green Day?
Yeah, because Green Day, I have like a pool of records to pick from. In this case, it's like literally everything I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I have to cut it into just 10, which is insane. And I've changed my list like 10, 15 times over the course of the day. So it's locked in now. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to get started. What about you?
Yeah, same here. This one caused me to have a drink. It was a lot of thinking, more than I wanted to do. I felt like it was a job, like another job I had to make this list. That's how much I was stressing about this. But, the people are going to see this list and they're going to let us know if I have a shitty taste of music or I have a good taste. Let me know in the comments. Just be like, Matt, your list is complete shit, or Matt, this list rocks.
And I know we already said this, but just in case, this is not a definitive list. This is just our personal list. And I want to tell you in advance that Bad Religion Suffer and The Descendants, Milo Goes to College is not on either one of our lists. I'm sorry. I know they're the most influential punk records. I know how important they are for modern punk, but they're just not either one of our top 10 records. So if you came here looking for that, I apologize, but we do have some great albums on our list. But Matt, before we get started, little special treat for everyone. One of my new favorite bands, and from a friend of mine, we're going to premiere the Be Fair single Veins and Capillaries. Guys, if you like Dear Landlord or Off With Your Heads, you're going to love these guys. Make sure and check them out. We're just going to do a clip of their brand new song, Veins and Capillaries. Here we go. All right, Matt, how sick was that?
Yeah, it was good. It was good, man. Yeah, I liked it.
All right, guys, you're welcome. That is Be Fair.
Yeah.
They're from Sheffield, UK. Make sure and go check them out. Follow them on Instagram. I'll put their details below. Those guys are awesome. For fans of Banner Pilot, Off With Your Heads, Dear Landlord, you can't beat it. All right, Matt. So do you want to get started first, or do you want me to go first?
I want you to go first since, I want to see what your 10 is. And I think I can judge off of what you're putting in number 10 is how your list is going to go. So I want to see, your 10 first.
All right. And I will say that every one of my albums when I first did this were between 1990 and 2004. I've added a few now that are a little later. And this first one's going to be part of that. My number 10 is going to be I Am the Avalanche, Avalanche United. I had to have a couple New York bands on the list, and I had the Movie Life at first, but I think I like Avalanche United even better than any of the Movie Life records. Like, this album is awesome. If you haven't heard, I Am the Avalanche is the singer of the Movie Life, and these are just like aggressive, gruff pop punk songs mixed with like just straight up punk rock. I love this record.
Yeah. That's a solid number 10. But I think my number 10 is going to be a little better. To be honest with you, John, and my number 10 is going to be Against All Authority, and that's going to be All Fall Down, that album. I feel like this album is a great ska-core album. I feel like this band really got me into kind of like that ska-core scene. and just overall great listen. If you guys don't know Against All Authority, go check them out. Unfortunately, they're not a band anymore, and I think a lot of bands on my list may not be bands anymore. But it doesn't matter. Still check it out. Still give it a listen. You're not going to be disappointing with this album.
I agree. I have nothing bad to say about the Against All Authority. That's a good pick. For me, number 9, Matt, I know you agree with this one. This was a late edition. I originally had a different Pennywise record, but I am going Land of the Free in at number 9. I remember the first time I heard this any song from this, it was on Epitaph's website. They did like a little e-card, and I think it had The World. And from then I was so psyched for this record. I saw them on Warped Tour that year. I still have like the original Land of the Free poster, but this is an album I could still listen to front to back today. Good shit.
Yeah,
Pennywise,
yeah.
Land of the Free, number 9.
Solid. All right, John. My number 9 is going to be actually Morning Glory. The Whole World Is Watching. I feel like this is such an underrated, I guess maybe record out of like that leftover crack joke and victim kind of family. I feel like if you put all those groups together in one category, I think that this album may come out on top for me over some of the other ones. So that's why I have to bring this in at number 9. And you can kind of see a pattern I have, I guess, with my 10 and 9 going up the list. You may have a couple more like that.
Are they all going to be black and white album covers? Kind of blend in with the background you have here?
Well, I think the next one, John, if I could go to my number 8.
Yeah. Go for it.
It's going to bring some color to my list. So number 8, we're going to be doing a.f.i, Black Sails in the Sunset. So there's some color. We got some orange. We got a pirate ship. This album, I loved a.f.i growing up. All the way from the earlier stuff, like, Shut Your Mouth and Open Your Eyes, Answer That and Stay Fashionable. But I feel like Black Sails in the Sunset is my favorite album from a.f.i. This was something I guess back in high school, man. John, I would listen to this nonstop. They were my favorite band in high school, so that's why I had to put this at number 8.
And we're going to do a.f.i tiers eventually. But, Matt, can we have a little spoiler? What do you think of new a.f.i?
New a.f.i. So I think it's not my cup of tea, we can say. It's not my cup of tea, but you can see, like, over the years they changed with, like, even their first records. They were kind of considered that, like, hardcore scene they were part of, and then they switched from that hardcore kind of to like that punk, and then to like, I don't know if you want to call it like horror punk or gothic punk, and then they changed their style. They change a lot. But their newer stuff, I really can't get that behind it. So I'm sorry, a.f.i, I'm not feeling the new stuff.
I'll just say it. New a.f.i is terrible. So, Matt, if you felt bad about having one of your favorite bands shit talking them, there you go. New a.f.i is horrible.
Yeah, it's crap.
There, all right. All right, for me, I believe this is the newest record on my list. FOD, this is Tricks of the Trade. Another band that I had 2 of. I had Ontario, and I went back and forth between this and FOD, between this and Tricks of the Trade. I've been a huge fan of these guys since they first came out when their first EP. If you're a fan of like Nimrod era Dookie, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. This record is really, really good. My favorite track is going to be Something More. Matt actually wrote down my favorite tracks on each of these, and I neglected.
Wait, did you really? You didn't tell me to put down my favorite tracks.
I realize now, like, I actually took notes for this.
Oh my god. Okay, now I'm going to look horrible because I don't have. Okay, all right.
But yeah, guys, check out FOD if you don't know them. It is like straight up 90s Green Day style, like Fat Wreck Epitaph style. This record is phenomenal. These guys are really cool. Check them out. FOD, Tricks of the Trade, my number 8. What's up for you, Matt?
So we're on to my number 7, and number 7 is going to be a classic for me. I feel like this album stands up through time. Anyone can get into this band. I feel like I don't know that many people that dislike this band, but it's going to be the Bouncing Souls, How I Spent My Summer Vacation. This is, I think I would say this is their best album that they put out. And I would say my favorite song off of this is Manthem. I would say, I know True Believers, everyone loves that one too, but this is such a solid album. You can listen to it from front to back. And I feel like it's a good spot at number 7 with the other ones I have in here.
This was on my list too, by the way. This was number 10. So I can't argue with this one either. I love the Bouncing Souls. I'm mad. I feel like between either the Souls or H2O are the two bands we've seen the most out of anyone. So no
Yeah,
problem with that
yeah,
going there.
yeah. Hmm.
All right.
Now, how about you, John? What's your next one? You're on to 7. What is it?
Number 7 is going to be Rancid, Let's Go. And we already talked about
Wow.
this on the Rancid tier list, but this is by far my favorite Rancid album. I love how like aggressive, catchy, and simple it is. I feel like anyone could pick up a guitar and play like Salvation. And like for like these 90s punk records, that's like important. The simplicity of it, get people into the scene. This is my number 7. This is my favorite Rancid album. Favorite track on here is going to be Harry Bridges. I already said that before, but yes, number 7, Rancid, Let's Go.
All right, John. So we're going into mine. We're at number 6. So number 6 for me is going to be a classic album from the band you guys may know as NOFX. And that album is Punkin' Drublic. So yeah, this is just a classic NoFX album. I was joking there with the pronunciation, but yeah, this is a classic NoFX album. I mean, Linoleum, Leave It Alone. I mean, The Bruise. It's just a great album, and I feel like this is up there with like I don't know, White Trash, Two Heaves and a Bean. But this is my favorite NoFX album, I would say. How about you, John? Is this a good solid number 6, you think, or should this one have been higher on my list?
I'm impressed with your list so far, and I'm 100% okay with all your rankings. I have NoFX a little higher on mine.
Okay.
Maybe a different record, though. My number 6 is going to be another album that came out on Epitaph, just like yours. It's going to be Pulley Matters, and I was going to have Together again for the first time, but this one is just too good for me not to include it. When it first came out, I remember not being thrilled about it. It's a little slower than their other stuff.
Yeah.
But like I still listen to this pretty regularly. It is still like so catchy. Like the melodies are so good. And if you can't tell, I'm a Land of the Lost fan. So the cover of Land of the Lost has like at the end of one of the tracks on here, I forget which one, is just like an added bonus for me. But my favorite song is probably going to be Blindfold, but it can go anywhere. Like any song on this record is damn good. Pulley can't do any wrong, and they have a new album coming out this year, which I am very much looking forward to. Number 6, Pulley Matters.
Nice. Very nice. So for me, number 5 is my next one. I mean, number 5 for me, this is going to be Rancid, Life Won't Wait. You already know my whole speech I gave about this album, how much I love this album. I'm not going to go into it again. If you want to hear about it, go check out our Rancid video when we put the albums, ranked in tiers. My favorite song, I don't care what anyone says, is the best song on this album is Cocktails. And if you don't like that, you can screw off. Okay, but this is number 5 for me. But overall, this is my favorite Rancid album.
This is the first one I disagree with you on, but I really thought this might be 1 or 2 for you though. So if the compromise is putting it at 5, so be it. Yeah. All right. So here we are, top 5, and if it wasn't for nostalgia, Matt, this one could easily climb to the top 2 spots, but because I have so much nostalgia for my top 4, I'm putting this in at 5. This is Frenzel Rom. This is Smoko at the Pet Food Factory. Holy shit. This is the perfect skate punk rock album. Every song on here is sick. I love like even the metal parts like in Bird Attack and Edward Sausage Fangs. Like front to back, like this is the best punk rock album of the last 20 years. I don't care. I'll say it. Like there's no bad songs on this record. Not even close. I still blast this one like weekly. It's unbeatable. Like, and Frenzel Rom kind of came out of nowhere with this one. Like, I thought they were a good band before this, but this put them in the whole new, like, stratosphere of punk rock bands. Smoko at the Pet Food Factory, number 5.
Wow, the way you spoke about this should be your number 1. I can't wait to hear what you say about your number 1.
Well, I already talked about my number 1 in another video, and you asked me if I had a wedding ring for it, so...
So my number 4 is probably going to get a lot of heat because it's like above like NoFX, a.f.i, Bounce the Souls, Rancid, but I don't really care. This band only put out one album, and I would say this album is great to listen to front to back. And that's going to be No Cash. So yeah, I mean, this album came out, one album they put out. I'm not going to get a lot of heat for this, John. People are going to be like, what? You've put No Cash above NOFX? Yes, I put No Cash above NOFX for me. When this album came out, I believe they were 16, 17, so very young, and they put this masterpiece together. And I'm also going to say this is my hot take. I feel like this album by No Cash, Run Your Pockets, you were putting in that same kind of genre of like Leftover Crack, Choking Victim, Morning Glory, is better than any of those. Hands down. I see John disagreeing. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. Leave a comment if you think that this was a horrible number 4.
Matt, this is a horrible number 4.
John, come on.
I'm sorry, man. You have this instead of Leftover Crack and Choking Victim, bands that clearly inspired this album. I mean, it's your list, and I remember you and I, we would very cringily sing the Gasoline song. So I'll let you have it there, but
thank you.
My God.
It's also nostalgia, but it's just like, I love Leftover Crack, but, I have Morning Glory in there. So I feel like this whole list could have been all Leftover Crack, Choking Victim. I didn't want to do that.
Is No Cash a New York band or no?
Pennsylvania. Yeah, okay. Close enough. East Coast.
All right, number 4 for me is going to be Less Than Jake, Hello Rockview. I've already said before, this is my favorite ska album of all time, so I got to step up and put it here, and I have no problem doing so. I cannot imagine another ska punk album that could overtake this. It set the template that bands are still using nowadays. It's just, it's a flawless ska punk record, deserves to be in the number 4 spot. Could probably be higher, but like I said, so much nostalgia for these first 3 and this one too, but it just, my top 3 are just bands that like changed my perspective on music forever, so they have to go higher. Matt, what about you? Number 3.
Number 3. So number 3 is going to be, I would consider this band to be their best album, and it's going to be Propagandhi, Today's Empires, Tomorrow's Ashes. This is a solid album. I feel like I don't even know what to say about it. It's just, I don't know. I picked this one here because seeing them live, when we went to go see them live in New York City too, I feel like that was such a great show they put on. And I know it wasn't for this album, the concert, what was it for? It was for, what album came out then?
It was 2009.
What was it? Protect City Limits or something like that? Was it for that one or?
Either that one or the one after it. Yeah.
Yeah, but they played songs off this, and just seeing the band live and like
with Paint in Black too. That show was awesome.
Dude, I got into an argument with Paint in Black when they were playing. Remember that? Because I yelled "Play Freebird," and the guy got so pissed at me for yelling "Play Freebird" during his set. Yeah, I'm that jerk that does that. But yeah, this album, I feel like this is a solid spot for it. Number 3 on here, Propagandhi, Today's Empires, Tomorrow's Ashes.
No problem with that. I mean, Back to the Motor League is my favorite Propagandhi song.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd put this as my favorite Propagandhi album, but I'm okay with it, man. Okay. I'll give it to you that it's great. So yeah, this is a lot better pick than No Cash.
Would you say it's their best album?
I kind of like Potemkin a little better, but it's close. It's close.
Yeah.
I do like this one a lot. All right, time for me to get a little
serious here, John.
I think this may be...
Come on, Pulley. You put Pulley in there. Come on, we got to get serious.
I think this is the first major label album. It is Blink-182, Enema of the State. How could I not have this on here? Like, I think a lot of my generation, we all got into Dookie, and then we all got into like this dark period where we were listening to Limp Bizkit and Korn and stuff like that. And then Enema of the State gets us all back on the straight and narrow. Like, here is punk rock. You forgot about me. Look what I can do. And this album holds up to this day. We do have our Blink-182 tier video coming up in 2 weeks. It's not going to be any surprise where this one is. It is phenomenal. My favorite song on here is Wendy Clear, which doesn't get as much love as some of the other tracks, but that's the best song on here. This is the best Blink album. This is my number 3. It is Enema of the State. I don't care what you have to say. This album is awesome. I'll take the flack. I'll take it. This album is just too damn good. Number 3.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely a good album. But yeah, we'll see where this one falls for me during the tier list. It may not be up there at S. Just a little hint for me. All right, John. So we're going into number 2. So my number 2 is going to be Streetlight Manifesto. Everything Goes Numb. And to me, this is the best third wave. Our third wave ska album. This to me is what like third wave ska is. You may have Suicide Machines up there with them too, but to me, this album is probably one of the best ska albums put together. I would say. I know you're going to disagree. You love your Less Than Jake, but I feel like Everything Goes Numb is a solid album. I mean, there's not one bad song on here. Everything But Numb, the first song, great. If and when we rise again, Moment of Silence, A Moment of Violence. It's just a great album, and I feel like this would have been number 1 for me if this other band's album never came out or if this band didn't exist. This is how good I feel that this album is.
I honestly never even knew you were a big Streetlight fan. Mm-hmm. Like, this is like really surprising for me. I personally have never cared for this band. I know that they're like almost like they're from Jersey, right? Like I feel like they played at the Chance all the time.
We saw them probably more than we saw Bouncing Souls, I would say.
I don't know. I just never cared for Streetlight. I never cared for Catch 22. Like as much as I like ska, I don't know. It just never did it for me. But whatever, man. I'm okay with it. It's still better than No Cash. So
you're really hating the No Cash, aren't you?
All right, number 2, we've got my favorite NOFX album. I know a lot of people disagree. It's not Punk and Drublic. It's not So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes. It is Pump Up the Volume. This is my favorite NOFX album. It's the first one that I owned other than the Bottles to the Ground EP. So it is special to me. I think it's the best the guitars have ever sounded, the best Fat Mike's vocals have ever sounded. I don't think there's a bad song on here. I think Marijuana and Pharmacist's Daughter are my 2 favorites, but it could change any day. This is NOFX at their best. This is my number 2 record. Pump Up the Volume.
Wow. I thought this would have been your number 1, but I think I know what your number 1 is going to be. Do you want to do your number 1 first, or you want me to do my number 1 first? How do you want to do this?
My number 1 is going to be Dookie. It has to be Dookie. This is the album that shaped the game for everybody. It changed the whole landscape of punk rock. It encouraged all these bands that came up in the late 90s and early 2000s to pick up a guitar and play punk rock. And it is a perfect, flawless record. Basket Case will forever be, for me, the best pop punk song ever written. It is a perfect song. This is the perfect album. Number 1 for me, Green Day, Dookie.
All right, John. So, number 1 for me. Oh, what is that? Was that a puzzle?
Yeah, I got it. I got it from eBay today. So.
Oh, dude, you got to put that together.
It's going right here when it's done.
Nice. So, number 1 for me is going to be a little out there, and it's going to be Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond. No, I'm joking. It's not Neil Diamond. So this is going to be Against Me reinventing Axl Rose. This is my opinion. I feel like this is what punk should be, this album. Just the vocals on this album, you can just feel it when the singer is singing and that they mean what they're saying. This is probably, to me, the best punk album made. I know a lot of people are gonna, everyone likes this album, but like to me it is. And I think what makes this like the best album is just that line from Reinventing Axl Rose when they're singing, and we want a band that plays loud and hard every night, that doesn't care how many people are counted at the door, that would travel 1 million miles and ask nothing more from a plate of food and a place to raise the rest of their head. And I think that's the definition of punk right there. A punk band should follow that. That's why.
Not one of my favorites, but I appreciate it. I do like this record, and I know you have loved this forever. Mm-hmm. So Not surprised there. Matt, any honorable mentions you want to throw in there?
So yeah,
Anything?
I mean, how about what were you gonna say? I cut you off there. Sorry about that.
No, anything you feel bad leaving off is what I was gonna say.
Yeah, so I love punk, but there's another spot in my heart for hardcore music. So we were doing punk albums, so I'm not going to put any hardcore in my top 10. But but some honorable mentions would be an album that came out recently, I think 2020, and it's by a band called Drain, California Cursed. If you like the New York hardcore kind of style, check them out. This album rips. I definitely want to go see them if they ever come to the East Coast to New York, because their concerts look like a hell of a fun time. And then the next one, John, is going to be a classic for me, and that's going to be the band Poison the Well, You Come Before You. Solid album, probably one of their best albums. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think we might have seen Poison the Well more than the Bouncing Souls. Back in the day, You Would Come With Me. They're up there with our concerts that we went to. But
Yeah.
those are two of my honorable mentions. I do have a spot in my heart for hardcore music as well.
Well, Matt, the reason once I saw you at Bouncing Souls, I took it off mine. That would be an honorable mention for me.
Mhm.
My other one would be the Flatliners' Dead Language. I feel like that album gets a little hate. It's a lot of people like the first few, but for me, Dead Language is the best album they put out. I won't even talk about the latest album, Seeing Light, Chasing Light. I don't remember what it's called, but it is horrible. Dead Language for me is top tier Flatliners. I love that record. And one more, I'll do some local boys from Autopilot Off, Matt, who are from Newburgh, New York. I love Autopilot Off. I still listen to Make a Sound. That is another great album that could be on my top 10. Love repping the local bands. Love Autopilot Off. And I think they may be working on a new album as well.
How about what was the band that was local? Fizzlewink? Was that a band? And then they turned into Matchbook Romance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have them, while you're mentioning them, after Blink-182, we are going to be tearing out all the Epitaph bands. Not all of them, because some of them we have no idea who they are, or they're not worthy of D tier or whatnot. But at least like 40 or 50 Epitaph bands, we're going to tear them out. Matchbook Romance is going to be on there. That's going to be really tough for us because they are from Poughkeepsie, which is near and dear to Matt and I's heart. Matt, I don't know, maybe Matchbook Romance we've seen the most between Fizzlewink and The Getaway. God, they played
The Getaway, that's right.
every freaking weekend they were at the Chance.
Yeah, no, they probably, they probably are the most we've seen. And also, John, I know in a couple of videos back ago, I think it was episode 6, but number 3 of Blind Band Reviews. We're giving away a little giveaway. We're doing a T-shirt, stickers, and stuff like that. So if you haven't already watched that video, liked it, and commented, you have to comment too to be in the contest. So you need a comment. So if you comment on this, we're going to pick a person randomly, and you'll get a T-shirt and some stickers.
Yeah, so make sure you comment. I only have a couple shirts left, especially if you want the white color. I think I only have 3 left. So hurry up, comment, get your free shirt, get your stickers. We'll get it. Maybe we'll end the contest next week. And the other thing we're running a poll on the blind bands. I'll put a link to that poll in the description here so you can vote. Voting ends on Monday, and then we're going to do our Battle of the Bands brackets starting in March. And I referenced it a few times, but after this video, but in between blind band reviews, we're going to have on Wednesday next week, we have Bad Religion tiers. The following Wednesday, we have Blink-182 tiers. And then the Wednesday after that, we have the Epitaph band tiers. I'm looking forward to that. Matt, before we sign off, anything else?
Yeah, so definitely get in there and vote on those polls. You can find it on the Instagram page. And I'll tell you right now, John, you have 327 votes right now. So we got some bands in there with some heavy hidden votes, like they're pulling over maybe like 80%. So if your band's in there, reach out to people, get people to listen to your music, and please vote honestly. Okay. Don't just spam the vote thing. But yeah, it should be a good time.
I don't think they can spam, right? Isn't
Well,
it like IP
friends,
locked?
yeah, it's IP locked. But if you have like 100 friends, hey, go vote. We want this to be as close to honest as possible.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, go vote for that. That's going to wrap it up. Make sure you check out our other videos. Please like and subscribe this. It really helps us out. And keep an eye out for our blind band reviews coming every Monday and Saturday, I want to say. I don't know.
Yeah.
Depending on how long YouTube
Yeah.
takes to upload them. Yes, please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching this. Let us know how much you hate our top 10 in the comments below. Until next time.
Are we gonna vote on this?
Sure.
Should we vote who has a better top 10? And again, this is top 10 of our favorite albums, not the definite like top 10 punk albums. This is our favorite albums. I think we should do a little vote on this, John.
Sure. Let us know whose top 10 you hate less in the comments below. All right. So until next